Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric,
Drangleic,
where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
the painted world of Ariandel. I love how they showed that way before they even announced it was going to be a DLC.
The pilgrims
Really nice.
discover the truth of the old words.
Discovered the truth of these nuts.
Fire fades, and the lords go without thrones.
Bro, they're just too lazy to come to us. That's all that is. Don't blame them, though.
When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls.
They got the one above. Did they get the one below?
Unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep.
It's really crazy that those mucks that ate us in the first game decided to just eat Gwendolyn and became that powerful.
Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers.
The Miladies who thought they were the best thing since Artorias.
And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the giant.
Vendrick's son from the second game. He decided to fuck the giant lord. It is what it is. You know what happens. I mean, that hole in the face just looks divine. Just
Only
gotta get
in
right
truth,
in there.
the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise.
My maiden.
Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be Cinder.
But I am Cinder.
And so it is that Ash seeketh embers.
No, Ash seeketh Cinder. It's the Cinder of Ashes. Or Cinder _ Ash. It's Cinder _ Ash, you see? It's real simple. There you guys go. That's all it is. So, since Dark Souls 3 is the easiest of the Souls games, without a doubt, we will handicap ourselves by going in as Deprived. Just kidding, Deprived is the most overpowered class in Dark Souls. Plus, we're also going to start with the Sovereignless Soul, because there's nothing else here that is actually worthwhile. Everything else can be found within, like, the first 5 minutes, that it's just entirely worthless. Alright. So, like I said, in the other Dark Souls games, there's a variety of reasons that I do different builds for different games, and a lot of it comes down to just either poise, comes down to weapon preferences of just, like, goofy bullshit, or it comes down to just being the most disgusting, cancerous thing that I can think of, and that's what makes the game fun. So there's nothing more fun than just being an Unga Bunga boy with a little bit of faith. So essentially, we're going to be just a huge strength-based character, but we're going to have some faith. or some int. I can't remember entirely which one it is in Dark Souls 3. That allows you to do lightning infusion, because we're going to be doing lightning, because there's no reason to not do lightning. So a good thing about the club also starting off is the fact that you can buff a good bit too. So it's almost like a 10 damage increase just with base stats at everything being a 10. Really, really nice start. Sadly, we won't get any good or fun strength weapons until like way later. So when we first start off, we're just going to be using this, and then once we get to the first area, actually, is where we're going to be able to get one of the better strength weapons that we'll be using for the start. Unga bunga shreds. Almost missed it. But that Titanite shard is pretty much worthless on its own until we get some more stuff later. I'm gonna chug just to be safe, because this can be dangerous. Shield guys are annoying. Alright, so next, before we actually get into the fight, we're gonna change up our equipment here. It's like in all Dark Souls games, they give you every opportunity, every build, everything you need to know about how to defeat the boss within the first couple of corpses that you loot. So you know that you're gonna need firebombs for him. Wait. Sacred Cleric's Chime, what the fuck? Okay, that must be a really rare drop, because I've never seen that drop for me from these guys. But okay. That. Alright, and we're good to go. You know, when I first played Dark Souls 3, I honestly thought I could use that as an actual weapon. As you can see, the firebombs do a pretty decent chunk of damage, barely above my club, but just giving that extra range in the first fight just adds so much beneficial success to your first time, so that way you just don't die. So we'll pop a squat, just get some more S's, because there's a few more things that we're going to have to do before we get started. So little known fact, the best weapon in the entire game is right here on the left, sadly because we're doing the strength build. Normally I'd use it, but I feel like handicapping myself to probably use something like maybe Fumes or a different weapon. I know that I haven't played this since the original came out, like before the DLC and everything, like day 1 edition. I picked this up, ran through it, absolutely loved it. I put so many hours into this game, especially being a mound maker. Oh my god, mound maker was so much fun. There's gonna be a dog over here, so I'm just gonna heal up, because Dark Souls 3 dogs are actually the worst of any of the dogs in Dark Souls. Until we get to Elden Ring, then holy fuck do the dogs get real bad. But it's just because of the way they're programmed. I can't be mad at the fact of the programming. Could they be programmed better? 100%. Should they get better programming? Oh yeah, 100%. Will they? Probably never. I think they'll continue to get worse until, like, they're physically impossible to deal with. Yep. Alright, so next starts our most important thing, which is to get the Silver Covenus Serpent Ring right from the go without having to spend any souls whatsoever. So our first thing is we're going to use all 6 of these just to get some extra souls.
Welcome time I the Lord to this.
Alright, so to get us going, we need, I think, 13 dex minimum. Rest we can pump into strength.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Next up, we need to talk to Andre.
Well,
Alright, so we're gonna allot our Estus. We don't need any of the bullshit blue magic Estus, because we should be pretty good for like the entirety of the game without having to use all of our FP the way that it is. Get our little free item from our buddy, which is just an emote.
or not.
And then we gotta go up. Gotta go all the way. So tree skip is still possible on the current patch of Dark Souls. It is just incredibly difficult, so we're just gonna try our best. And it's gonna probably take us a couple tries. Almost. I didn't cut it quick enough. And that one I just fucked up entirely. So you gotta start from here and do that. There you go. It's a little tricky. But now we have all the homeware bones that we need, which is perfect. Alright, so we grab that, and then we go all the way into the back, drop down here. Find our little chest buddy, pop that bitch open. Get the best ring in the game until we get it upgraded. Put that bitch on. And then we pop a squat. Okay, so up. We're good to start. We travel to the high wall. So the thing about the high wall is, ironically, what we're gonna go get is the Claymore. Normally, for some reason, the Claymore is basically like an endgame weapon, which makes absolutely no sense. It's kind of unhinged the way it works. But essentially, the game cuts you off from some of the weapons at the start because it employs basically a dragon to just say, go fuck yourself. Really annoying. It is what it is. So, something that we need to grab is going to be the bow and arrow over here. Also, the nice thing about having this club is the fact that it does really good stagger. You can basically just make all the dogs a non-existent problem in this game, which is really nice. I want to get this dog's attention before I pull Halberd Boy, but I think... Come on, dog. There we go. Pull the dog before Halberd. Also, the hitbox on the club is just stupid massive. You just stagger lock anybody into place. So first things first, gonna aggro this guy. This. Oh, he didn't do it. There we go. Wanted to get him started because one of the first things that you can do is once you get that guy aggroed, he takes care of a lot of the enemies right there. So it would have been a couple free souls, not that many, but sometimes a couple souls actually makes or breaks your next level, and of course could entirely affect an entire boss fight. Alright, so we're just gonna reset. No reason not to, because now we're just gonna go down the other way. So we're just gonna murder as many of these guys as we can before that guy gets started. So he's gonna wake up some enemies that are gonna come after us. And as we all know, because the Broken Sword is the most broken weapon, that's why all of these hollow guys use it. They will fuck your day up. Alright, cool. Got him before he got to screaming. Okay, Mr. fucking Tank Lord over here. Jesus. Grab the binoculars, but we don't need the binoculars. Because I have this. So I installed the first person mod. I probably won't use it. But it is just a unique mod that I thought would look cool. Because then that way I don't need the binoculars or anything else, and it'll allow me to just kind of enjoy the environment a lot more. so we got 2 flasks in a dream. So it's gonna take a minute, but we're gonna try our best. I don't think this is gonna work, but worst case scenario. So the Claymore is the one very top. Alright, bonfire is lit. Souls are good.
Welcome, speak.
Alright, that should be
Farewell,
just
Ashen
enough to
One.
use it. So that means we'll have to start pumping up our HP here soon in a minute. Alright, so because Dragon Bro is there, we're gonna have to take this a little slow. Sir? Ooh, Wendy's. Can't be shield bashing. So, we also have the opportunity to use that axe. I probably won't, because it's a deep axe. It's magic, and, you know, sadly enough, I also use magic in this one, so. To get our Estus back, and then we'll try and rush, get that Claymore. There we go. So next up is we're gonna remove all this garbage instead of the club. I only needed 16, but that's good enough. We're gonna put on our Claymore. And we're gonna purposely one-hand it because this also has a stagger when you one-hand it, not so much when you two-hand it, which is kind of silly. Now we're gonna go back, level up some more HP. Because right now, the only thing that matters is we need the HP for a couple of things. So I need the HP mostly for some skips, as well as just getting some special items.
Then take. Farewell, Ashen One.
Oh well, but we also have this guy up here who's gonna talk to us about PvP and then teach us about the PvP Covenant bullshit. But you know, here we don't play the online, we don't do anything. Because I personally am the person that believes that there's 2 ways to play Dark Souls. There's the way that everybody believes is intended, which is you take everything that is involved in Dark Souls, or you do it the alternative way, which is you play however the fuck you want. And me, personally, while I'm like recording these videos, the last thing I want is somebody to invade me, ruin my saves and stuff, just like it happened in Dark Souls 2, so you know, it's just like preventative measures. So we don't need to go downstairs yet, because we need to get the key. Once we get the key, we'll be pretty good. So I'm gonna murder him before he transforms. If you let him transform, he does turn into one of those snake guys like the one earlier, and they do give you, I believe, 3 Embers each, which is really, really nice. Early game, but because we're severely undergeared for it. I'm gonna just ignore it for now. We also have gotten a raw gem. We do not use raw gems in this household, nor do we use pretty much gems in general. So that guy I knocked down, I believe he's still alive, and he's gonna come back up the ladder. No? Okay, he actually died. Sometimes the guy down the ladder actually comes back up, which becomes a issue in of itself. So there's gonna be a knight that comes through there. I'm gonna ignore him for now. Do a little bit of a swivel there to hit both. And then we got another Titanite. And then we got 2 things here. Yeah, those guys. We need those hunter charms, because I'm going to try and RNG some nice stuff into existence, but it's probably not going to work. So I want to be careful around this guy. So I'm not a big fan of spears. Except Brittany. That's the only Spears that is acceptable. And Jamie, because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but Zoe 101 was pretty solid. What a lot of people refer to as one of the best starter weapons, the Astoria. Very solid. So now I should, in theory, have a couple fire bombs, which I do. Perfect. So I'm actually going to equip those. And then you'll see down here that we have some barrels. And what I like to do is I like to wait for the dogs and some of the other guys to get close to them before I toss them. And this is one of the benefits of first-person mod. You can actually choose where you're throwing. Makes the game so much easier. Alright, so now that he's de-aggroed, I still have a dog down there and I still have that guy. So I want to try and focus on one of them at a time. We have another 2 guys there. And these guys will wreck your fucking face. Get a good angle on that guy. Or am I gonna have to roll down and then just kind of hope for the best? Another Titanite shard, which is going to be very nice coming up. Now grab this. The last thing I need to get is from the dog. So hopefully the dog will play nice. So now we have our cell key. And because I'm not going to risk dying and losing my Ember, especially this early, what we're going to do is we're going to use a Homeward Bone and go back to the bonfire. Specifically in the shrine, because I want to get some level ups.